train, train, car, 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 car. I blame the radioactive hog. It clearly broke something there. It was not my incompetence. Train, car, 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 train. That is a lot of iron. Howdy folks, welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm gonna get some power slugs. Slurp. 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 Slurp.
Slurp. Slurp. Slurp. Slurp. Slurp. Slurp. Yellow slurp.
Power slugs, gotta eat them all. A constructor. Can we hook this up? Hello, peanut. And then there should be... Yes! There are power shard recipes. And I can put in a summer sloop into this. I can double my power shards. Why did I never think to do this? Why was... I think I know why I never thought to do this. Like, when you start the game, you learn to do this by hand. And I never unlearned doing that. Even though I think I remember unlocking the power shard recipes in the... was it the MAM? Yeah, I think these unlock the recipes for it, but I might be mistaken on how I'm remembering it. I'm so glad that this was brought to my attention, because up to this point I was like, I need power shards. Oh, gotta do it by hand and smack them with a hammer. I get so much more now. I now have 110 out of nowhere. That's such a handy tip. Thank you for highlighting that. So, back here over by the waterfall and the concrete, I've expanded the dissolved silica factory. As ever, big old shoebox. So as before, we're bringing in the 2 lines of raw quartz, the limestone, the nitrogen gas, and the iron, and some water. I think we're only using 1 line of the quartz so far. Yes, we are. Which is 600 a minute. Once we get the other line hooked up, that's 1,200 raw quartz a minute, and that requires 10 refineries. And I've put 20 in, so that we can handle 2,400 at the end of it all. And that's making the quartz crystals and the dissolved silica. The dissolved silica is going upstairs. Look at all these pipes. So we don't need a lot of machines to deal with all of that quartz. This is all we really need for the rest of the stuff. So we have 1 refinery dealing with the iron ore, because that's all we need. We need 100 iron ingots, which we are producing easily enough with just this 1 machine. It does the entire lot for everything else here. Then we have 3 constructors, producing 70 iron plates a minute. That's going into 3 blenders, fully overclocked. We need 70 iron plates a minute, 800 nitrogen gas a minute, and 200 water a minute. This 1 machine produces 300. So that produces the nitric acid. The nitric acid and the dissolved silica come over here, through all this mess of piping, into 10 blenders. These aren't overclocked, so we have 10. This takes in 1,200 dissolved silica a minute from these refineries, 500 limestone, which is coming in from over there, and 1,000 water. In total, this produces 2,700 silica a minute. I'm syncing it all currently, just to keep it all running. And I've also only hooked up half the machines, because I've only hooked up half the raw quartz at the beginning. These blenders also output extra water. Each machine outputs 80 water a minute. So that's 800 water a minute altogether. And I've done the smart thing. I'm bringing it out here, and I'm putting it into the wet concrete machines next door. So the water's being dealt with as well. And what we are going to use the dissolved silica for are circuit boards. We're going to make the alternate silicon circuit board and the high-speed connector. I did ponder before about whether or not just using the base one, because it produces more a minute, but the amount of copper I would need to produce the cable is somewhat ludicrous, but we'll go over that at a later date. So I'm going to be using silica for both of these recipes. Unless I find another circuit board recipe, which I don't know what that is. So we need silica, which we're producing right here, and we also need copper sheets. And we are making a ludicrous amount of copper sheets at the aluminium plant. So I need to bring those down from there to here, which involves making a train station, which I haven't yet because I want to try something. So I'm going to do the usual of 2 trains and 4 freight cars. But instead of train, car, I'm going to try train, car, train. Freight. Train platform. So we have a train, then a freight car, another freight car, another freight car, another freight car, and then one train here at the end, but facing the other direction. So what I've been seeing is this allows the train to push and pull, and allows it to enter train stations like this, get to the end, and then when it pulls away, instead of needing a loop back around, it can just pull out again. Do I need a buffer at the end? It's probably sensible, right? All I really need to do is connect one end over here, like this, somewhere. That'll do. And then connect it over this way going this direction. That's too sharp. Like that. How does this work then? Like this? That should be okay. All of the signals seem to be working fine. So what I need to do is I need to go to the aluminium and build a similar train station. I don't know if this needs to face a particular way or not. Train menu. Edit timetable. So it has to go to test silica and test aluminium. Save changes. Turn on. Okay, so it stops here. It'll be here for about 15 seconds and then it may leave, but we'll find out. Oh. That's right, you stop right there. Does the train being backwards reduce its ability to pull the cars? Or is it fine? Would I need 2 trains on both the front and the back? Okay, Baxbron. Funky name. So if we split our 2,700 silica between both producing circuit boards and high-speed connectors, we can make 183 circuit boards a minute and 183 high-speed connectors a minute. Now the real problem here is that I will need quick wire and copper. A lot of it. To produce this many high-speed connectors, I will need 5,500 quick wire, which is 1,300 caterium ore. Which isn't difficult per se, but as I'll go over in a few minutes' time, there's some greater difficulties. Aha! And we're back here. Awesome. So that just works. Yay. So I'm either going to need some smelters or some refineries to make the caterium ingots. I'm going to be bringing in the copper sheets. So all we need is about 60 assemblers making 5,500 quick wire, 14 assemblers to make the 138 circuit boards, and 61 manufacturers. It seemed pretty reasonable up till then, didn't it? Now I could overclock them. If I overclock all of the manufacturers, I'd need 25, which means finding 75 overclocks, which, for what I did at the beginning, I do have. But I'm not going to build the circuit board factory today. I'm going to do something a little bit different that I hadn't really spoke about before. So let's go back to main base and I'll go over it. Ah. So what is next for me? Well, I'm still moving towards fused modular frames and turbo motors. I will be making fused modular frames out of the heavy frames we're making here at the home base, and I will be making turbo motors out of the motors we're making here at the home base. But there are a few other steps I would like to focus on before doing this, and it's a bit more future-proofing stuff. So as I mentioned last episode, the home base is capable of producing some electromagnetic control rods. About 80 odd a minute. I think it's like 81 or 82 a minute altogether. And that does help us keep up with the demand at the nuclear facility, as well as letting us expand it in the future a little bit. That amount will allow us to double our power capacity, but it won't keep up forever. So what I would like to do is build a dedicated electromagnetic control rod factory. The home base is very good at providing us the amount we need to keep the nuclear facility sustained for the time being, but when we need to expand it in the future, we will need more rods. When I did the underside industry a few episodes back, I did build a bunch of machines so that all I'd need to do in the future is just plug in the resources once we expand the amount of nuclear reactors we have. We have the concrete, we have the sulfuric acid, we have the aluminium casings coming in, we have the water, we have as much water as we need. The encased industrial beams are being made at the petroleum coke factory. All of the different elements we need, we do have in quite a plentiful supply. The only thing we don't really have for the future are these rods. What I would like to build is this, pending some changes. So last time I talked about blocks of 600 resources, and what I've got here is 600 times 4, 2,400 crude oil. I think this is one of the things I want to use the oil on, as it will become clear why. So as we built a few episodes back, I'm training in 600 uranium ore a minute into 12 nuclear reactors. That takes a whole bunch of resources, but what is important here is that it takes 30 control rods a minute to produce the uranium fuel rods, plus another 15 to deal with the nuclear waste and turn that into plutonium fuel rods. So it takes about 45 control rods a minute, all in all, to deal with the uranium ore and the waste. What we have here is that times 10. By using 2,400 crude oil, we can end up with 450 control rods a minute. Which means that we could times 10 our power source. As I mentioned before, all of the resources and the machines are easily put in and plugged together. This is the last remaining bottleneck if we want to expand in the future. So 2,400 crude oil going into 80 refineries, where plastic is the primary output and heavy oil residue is the secondary. Got 1,600 plastic out of that and 800 heavy oil residue. The heavy oil residue will go into 20 refineries to make petroleum coke. Petroleum coke going into 32 foundries to make steel. Steel going into 100-odd constructors to make 2,000 pipes. I haven't connected them together here, because if I do, it kind of breaks everything for some reason. I am not sure why that does that. And then those pipes will be going into an assembler to make stators, but we also need quick wire. A lot of it. So what we got over here is I'm going to use the water purification recipe with deuterium ore. We need 2,000 of it. Going into 83 refineries to make 1,000 deuterium ingots. We need 2,000 copper, going into 133 refineries to make 5,000 copper ingots, 130 assemblers to make quick wire, because we need 12,000 quick wire a minute to do this. And this is the only alternate recipe for quick wire. So this is how we have to do it. 5,100 of that quick wire will be going into 85 assemblers to make stators. The other 6,800 quick wire going in with the 1,600 plastic into 57 assemblers to make the AI limiters. Smash those together in another 114 assemblers to make the 450 control rods. Losing my mind. It's a lot of stuff, isn't it? So like I said, control rods are the only real bottleneck for expanding our power infrastructure in the future. Everything else perfectly fine. And just to show, these are the only two recipes to make quick wire. Before we get to that, however, I have to find a suitable spot to build that, which means I need to find a spot with crude oil and deuterium. So I'm going to go on a bit of an adventure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the resources necessary to bring pylons and a bunch of radio towers. And I'm going to see if I can map out some radio towers up the northern end of the island to expose more of the resources. So what do we need for that? It's in organization, isn't it? New radio tower. Computers, heavy frames, crystal oscillators. So I need to build a pile of crystal oscillators before I move out. Because I'm still not producing those, but I am getting there. So crystal oscillator. Quartz crystals, which we're producing now. Like I said, we're moving towards it. Cable and plate. Or crystals, rubber, and AI limiter. I guess we're going to use the basic one for the time being. Well, I'll make a pile of this with the rubber, because I'm making rubber. Here we are. I have all of the resources required to build 5 radio towers. So then I have to do the long trek up to the north of the island and start connecting a big power grid. Okay. I have boomsticks, I have ammunition. I need some fuel. Okay, I'm going to start by the turbo fuel power towers and work my way up north through that wasteland. And it was a few episodes ago, but I was told that I should try and check out the resource veins by the desert. So hopefully we'll end up there. Been a while since I've been here. So I just... Oh, while I am here actually, I'm going to check out this oil well. Because I never knew what this was when I first found it, did I? What do we got going on here then? So what's that then? That's like 1.5 pipes worth? I mean, that's not bad, all things considering. I have to take this power miles. Hopefully I can put it in such a way that I could use my hook, the grapple hook thing. Keep going this way, I guess. I should do. Ah! Ping! Ooh, that's a lot of iron. Pure caterium. Normal iron, normal. Pure, good grief. Pure, normal. There's a lot of good sources of stuff around here. I mean, it's all limestone and iron. But it's good there's caterium. That solves some of my problem. Should I keep going north? I think I want to sort of spread this way, because I want to get to the desert. I hear monsters. I'm sorry, monsters, I'm not interested. Too long. There we go. Okay, and then we do. Ping! Ooh, there's another SAM ore. There's uranium. Got some coal. More iron. Some copper. Ooh! Impure. Normal. So it looks like there's some oil wells over here, so I'm gonna change course a little. Try and get over here. If I can get the power lines up top of the cliff, that'd be cool. Might be able to do it. Wire too long to reach there. Surface too uneven. Wire too long. Hey hey. Take it over here. Yep, that was going to happen, wasn't it?
Are you functional, Pioneer? Good. Back to work.
No comment. Now we take the long line all the way back there. We can take in the sights as well. Appears to be a cave. I do not have the... I don't know why I did that. Bugger. We'll try that again. This crate is somewhere. There it is. How did I get here? So what was I doing? Radio towers. Oil, impure, normal, impure, normal, impure, pure, normal, impure, impure. How much do I need? 2,400 oil, right? Is there deuterium around here? Not that is beeping. Pure. There's one. That's normal. There's another. That's normal. That's 1,200. bacterium's a bit difficult, isn't it? I still think it's worth it for the control rods, however. The amount of quick wire I need is ludicrous. Can I get it over there? Too long. That seems fine. Can I get it up here? That should be easy. I need to get it up that cliff over there. It might be a bit too far or too high up. We'll see. Oh! Can you not? You're shooting rocks at me and I told you not to. Ooh, you're still shooting rocks at me. I saw that. Got quite a swing on you, haven't you? Wire is too long. Really? Well, I guess I'm putting... That's a sane placement, isn't it? But if it works... Getting power back down? That's an interesting conundrum. Yeah, that might be way too far away. Whee! Is this too far? Maybe. Even... Hello? What? Hi? What? Hello? Who's not connected to what? Oh, is it right here? Nope. I blame the radioactive hog. It clearly broke something there. It's not my incompetence. Working now? Aha! Well, that's a lot of iron. That is a lot of iron. Oh my god. So either the information I have is incorrect or outdated, either or, both are possible, or there's a whole bunch of uranium hiding somewhere that I haven't found yet, and there's not really much left hidden. But it looks like there's less uranium ore than I thought there were on the entire map. So this might be a case of people silently yelling at me. It was a good thing to learn, because I might have ended up making more than I really needed. So there are 5 uranium veins I can see at the moment. There's this one that's impure. This one's normal. This one's normal. This one's impure. This one's impure. Which is... that maxes out to 2,100 uranium a minute. Now this is a good lesson to learn. If there is only that much uranium ore in the world, that means I don't need to produce as much as I thought I did. So the resources can reduce significantly. So I have half the amount of crude oil I need. That's halved everything else. I still end up with 228 control rods, which is more than plenty. I still want to do this because I will need the control rods. And if there are only 5 resource nodes and I've found them all, there might be a 6th. That means I can start hooking up all the ones I've found. Also, excess control rods aren't necessarily a bad thing either. Because yes, they go into control rods, and they go into the plutonium rods, but they can be used for other things as well. So that changes my outlook a little. I don't know where I got the idea that there's more uranium ore in the world than there was. I'm pretty sure I read there was like 6,000 somewhere. But again, I might be mistaken or outdated information. It's good to have found a lot of stuff. Let me quickly scan for more caterium. Because now we need 1,000 caterium, which is essentially 1 pure node. So if there's a pure node nearby, that would be great. Ping! Hey, speak of. Apparently it's on the edge of the world. Although the oil that I'd like to use is over here. So I could make this into an oil location. There's a lot of concrete. This obviously wants to be like a huge iron smeltery or something, doesn't it? Because that is a lot of iron. Part of me really, really, really wants to hook up all that iron. God, I would love to play this game and just hook every single resource node up. Whether I use it or not is irrelevant, I just want to hook everything up. Right. One more radio tower I can build. How many people watching were screaming at me about the values of the resources? Be honest. It's fine, it doesn't really change my plans all that much. Just means I have to build less things. And that I actually might have overbuilt the underside industry at the nuclear facility, weirdly. That's fine, I'm sure there's other uses for all that stuff. Especially if we get into plutonium. Whee! Fire too long. Ha! There are spiders. There are big spiders. There are huge spiders. There are massive, massive spiders. Interesting formation. Oh! Overshot a little, but that's fine. Put in the last radio tower. What are we looking at? More oil. Water, coal. It is a lot of oil. That is a lot of iron. It's crazy. So I don't have 100% coverage, but I think I get the gist of where everything is. And there's definitely no more uranium, right? Unless there's like 100 nodes hiding in these tiny little pockets of unexplored terrain. I guess I just have to train them all in. Considering it's only, what, like 3 other nodes? Like this node is nearby to the nuclear facility, so all I have to do is just conveyor that in. This one... I don't recall that one. I don't recall what this one looks like, but I'll train that one in. I'll train this in. I wonder if I should do one train, pick them all up, and take it over, or do 3 more trains. I wonder how long it would take to do one ring. Like if we brought the uranium train to here, pick that up, brought it over to here, pick that up, brought it over to over there, pick that up, then took it all and unloaded. I wonder how long that would take to do the circuit. I mean, it shouldn't really matter if we have enough train cars, right? How much does a train car hold? It's like 32 slots, right? 2,100 a minute into 4 train cars, that's 128 slots. It does stacks of 500, right? Which means 2,100 would fill up 4 slots in 1 minute. So it would need to do a circuit in 30 minutes, give or take. Which I think that might be plenty of time. So one huge rail line is probably on the table. Now we travel back. So what this means is that I won't need... Because I was planning to build like 100 odd nuclear reactors I think without... hang on, there's a... There's an alternate recipe for the uranium fuel cell. This one. That I haven't been doing because it takes crystal oscillators. So knowing how much uranium ore we have and how much rods we need to build, I would need 42 nuclear reactors. But if I end up making this one, I would need 60. So there's less to build. Considering I plan to build so much stuff, knowing that I have to half everything sort of makes everything seem reasonable. And we're back home. So I'm going to end this episode here. It feels like a weird one now that I've recorded all that. And I wish I knew why the moon of the moon flashes like that. That's weird, isn't it? But there's a lot of useful information on this map now that I can plan my future escapades on. I have learned a lot from that little excursion, as weird as that sounds. I need to go and sit and ruminate on it. So I shall end this here, and I will see you all next time. Thank you all for watching, folks. I hope you all enjoyed. Cheerio. I am genuinely dumbfounded that I overestimated the amount of uranium ore on the map. That's a bit of a whoopsie, isn't it?